Matt mentioned ago that dogs come from wolves, and we know that that's happened over the last 10 to 11,000 years. Guess what? He has faith in that. We can't prove that. You can't prove that 11,000 years ago that this morphing happened, that now we have wolves that are now dogs. We can't prove that. So that in and of itself is a faith statement. We've never seen one creature, an ape, change in our lifespan to another creature. We don't have documentation of that. So for us to just, so that's faith, and that's okay to have that faith. I'm not knocking that faith at all.
It's not faith, the idea that the dogs come from wolves. I picked that example specifically so that I'm not talking about Tiktaalik, which also, by the way, is a prediction that evolution makes. Hey, if we dig in this rock layer, we know about rock layer ages, we should find something that represents a transitional form between X and Y, and that's exactly what we found with Tiktaalik. In the case of dogs, he's just flat wrong. This is demonstrable not only through DNA, but actually through records. We know when human beings began domesticating dogs because we know when they started cohabitating with the wolves. We also know that humans have specifically bred different types of dogs together to get those types of dogs. This is like, to say that this isn't a matter of historical record is wrong. To say that it's not proven, I mean, you don't prove things in science, that's math, but to the extent that you prove things in science colloquially, this is as demonstrable as anything. And when he says prayer doesn't work, at 100%, he's right. And the Templeton Foundation did a specific long-term study on intercessory prayer and found that it works at about the rate of chance, which is to say it doesn't work at all. They have people pray for other people, and they find out who gets better and who doesn't. And what was damning about that particular study was that they divided it up into categories to where some of the people knew they were being prayed for and some of the people did not know they were being prayed for. And it turns out that if you know you're being prayed for, you actually get worse. They suppose that it's because there's a pressure to perform so that you don't do anything to screw up the study about prayer. But turns out it works at the rate of flipping a coin. And that's why there's no Nobel Prize for discovering God or showing that prayer works. The Templeton Foundation keeps trying, but the actual facts and the actual science go against what you're going to hear from apologists and ministers, which is why I could no longer be one.
May I interject something? Yes. You had said something about chemical processes bringing life. Why do you say that? I mean, that's not proven. Like chemical processes that could establish life, non-life
building blocks of life, self-replicating RNA.
But we can't. It's never been proven that you can get life from non-life ever. And you said
that's not true.
It is true.
The Miller-Urey experiments demonstrate that self-replicating RNA, the building blocks of life, can come from non-living matter. Just because you don't get a chihuahua out of the test tube doesn't mean that you didn't get life.
I agree, but you can't rub a stick and a stone together and get...
And nobody in science remotely says that you can rub a stick and stone together. That's such a parody of actual science.
There has to be a beginning point.
Yes.
And you said we don't have an answer for that.
Correct.
And what's interesting is that when we say, well, I don't know, and we are smart. We're incredibly smart. And we have the technology, all the technology at our fingertips, and you think about 7 billion people on the planet, nobody can give an answer for this? So, again, I'm not proving God's real. That's not my agenda today. I'm proving that there are reasons to believe that God exists. And that, in and of itself, is reason enough for me to say maybe there's something or someone who started this whole thing.
So there's 7 billion people on the planet. We'll go ahead and bump the number up for all the people who lived here. And the fact that nobody can answer a question means that we're justified in thinking there's a God?
I didn't say that again, my position is not to prove that God is real. I'm saying there's a reason to believe that God could have started this whole thing.
I'm looking for good reasons, not arguments from ignorance. The fact that 7 billion people haven't been able to answer a question, we don't know why there's something rather than nothing, but that doesn't mean that we're justified in rushing to say that God did it.